When you first get a device, it's not going to have any configurations on it. Or also when you delete those configurations and restart the device, it's not going to have any configurations obviously on it either. And so what happens is it goes through its boot up process. And the first thing that comes up is when we hit enter here, is it's going to ask us, would you like to go into the initial configuration dialog? Yes or no? This is a way that we can start setting up basic management of this switch. And so I could choose yes, and it will step me through a little wizard that will set up the basic management of this switch. And that's what we're going to do here in a second. I will mention that's typically not what I do. Typically what I'll answer here is no, and then I'll have my configs written out on a separate document, and I'll copy and paste them into my device. And I just find it easier, and usually I because I'm copying and pasting, there's less chance for error. But because I want to make sure that everybody understands what this process looks like, let's take a look at it. So here I would type in, yes, I want to go through this. Would you like to enter basic management setup? Yes, I want to set up the management for this switch. What do I want to give this the name of this switch? So if I just hit enter, it's going to take whatever's in the bracket, which says switch. But I want to call this switch 1, so I'm going to type in switch 1 and hit enter. Next, it's asking me for the enable secret. So in the enable secret, I'm going to type in secure, and we'll do secure 2. So that's the one that I did in the past. So this is the enable secret. I hit enter, and then it's asking me for the enable password, which is the same thing, except for it's just not encrypted, and it's really superseded by the other. So I'll put it in here anyways, but it really is not going to, there's no place I'm really going to use this because I have the enable secret. So I type in the secure 1 in there. And then it asked me for the virtual terminal password. And what I used for the virtual terminal password was secure 4. So let's just use the secure 4. Do I want to configure an SNMP network management? This is if I had a separate server that was collecting management information on this device. No, I don't want to do this. If I hit enter, it just accepts the default of no. So that's what I'm going to do. Now it's listing out all of the interfaces that I have available on this switch. And so it's going to ask me a question here in a second about which interface do I want to use for my management interface. And it is VLAN 1 that I'll be using for my management interface. So I'll type in VLAN 1. And do I want to configure an IP address for it? If I hit enter right here, then I wouldn't be configuring it. But I do want to, so I'm going to click yes or type yes. The IP address for this interface, so it's 192.168.74.2. I'm going to type in that address. It recognizes it's a class C and gives me a 255.255.255.0, which is what I want. So I'm going to click yes on there. Would you like to enable this switch as a cluster? No, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to hit enter. Now what it's doing is it's showing me the running configuration on here, or what I could save as the startup configuration here. So it's showing me, do you want to implement this? Do you want to do this? So I've got a few options here. The last one is save this configuration to NVRAM and exit. So that is what I want to do. So I'm going to click 2, or actually I don't really need to type anything here. I just can hit enter because the default is 2. It's going to go through the saving this, and I'm going to type in enable, and then I type in that enable secret password. So that's secure 2. I'm into the switch. So there you go. Fast way of configuring this. Another way that I can do this is I can go and pull up a new session. I want a Telnet session, and I'm going to type in the address, so 192.168.74.2. I'm going to click on open. It's going to open up the configuration. It's asking for a password, and the password I set for there was secure 4. So I type that in. I am now into the switch. I go into enable mode. That's secure 2 for the password for that. and now I'm in my privilege exec mode. So could be a much faster way of getting in and configuring a switch. Although once again, like what I say, I like to have everything all typed out already that I can double check and make sure I'm getting everything correct. And then it's just a matter of copy and paste into the configuration. So typically I don't go down this route, but it is an option that's available for you. Thanks for watching my videos. If you like them, could you hit that like button because it really helps me out.